Hello everyone. Class is now in session. You've been probably noticing on news media, as well as in elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and college, which in college has just been going on for the past 100 years. But let's break down, please, what the left is trying to really push. They want America to be a socialist controlled country where big government controls all, and they promise to take care of all the peoples. Well, I comprised a book. I'm a male, and that's close to 50 years old, and I had three uncles that served in Vietnam. I had a grandpa that served in World War II, and a father that served in the Persian Gulf War. What's kind of interesting, these men seen firsthand about what socialists and also in the Vietnam world, what communism is all about. I don't want to go into the details about the Barbary atrocities that these governments do to its people, but I would like to go and showcase this at least about how these countries control their peoples. And one way by doing this is by devaluating their currency. So let's go and take a stroll with this book I created here. All right, so here we have the communist and social republics world currencies of the world here. And I also have, these countries have the red stars, yeah. And you notice how the new movement now, you see a lot of young college folks and going marching the streets, raising their fists in the air, bring down, I hate America, bring down, I hate America. Well, this actually dates back over 100 years ago in China. More precise, over 120 years ago to be more precise, with the Boxer Rebellion. And that's where the Chinese people, factions came together to try to go ahead and throw out Christian missionaries and people, and also Chinese who profess to be Christian, as they don't have any freedoms there, freedom of choice, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedoms of no kind really, because the state controls the people in this country. So that's why I showcase this. So let's take a look at the currency, shall we? And I'd like to reference, I have some scripture here that's kind of interesting. I know in college they say that, the first socialist movement to young minds was in Europe in the roughly 14th, early 14th century, which I kind of disagree. This dates all the way back to the Hebrew people that who came from Egypt with Pharaoh. So you notice here I've actually showcased chapters 47, verses 13 to 26 from the book of Genesis. And it tells you our first socialist leader, if you will, was Pharaoh. And basically what he did is, finally when the devaluated the currency, so the currency was worth nothing, and finally when the food, the grainers went dry, resources ran low, then what happened was the people then finally gave their cattle away, then finally themselves to oppression and slavery. So this is where the journey in world history first begins, way before China, Russia, Bangladesh, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, the North Korean republics, well before these guys became communist-controlled countries. So if you have a Bible, please check out Genesis 47, verses 13 to 26 to get more of the backlog about how people lose their freedoms to greed and power and corruption of its finest. And here I have Russian currency. You notice here how I have 1,000 rubles. It looks like it's a lot of money, but let's look at to the United States dollar. So 1,000 rubles is only worth 10 US dollars. And you kind of see how it's watermarked. You'll notice that all communist and socialist controlled countries, they only have one picture. Their first dictator who was in power. That's with any country who you visit overseas. Whereas our country shows our presidents. That just shows you the varied denominations here. 500 rubles, 5 US dollars, 200 rubles, 2 US dollars. More Russian currencies here. 100 rubles is worth one US dollar. 50 rubles is worth 50 cents. 25 rubles is worth a quarter in our money. More pictures of V.I. Lenin, who was Russia's first dictator. And then you see more rubles here. 10 rubles, 10 cents. 5 rubles, 5 cents. And 3 rubles, 3 cents. 1 ruble, 1 penny. I also have Russian coins that are called kopecks. So once breaks down again, 100 kopek is less than 1 cent. And pretty much all these coins here are 1 penny. And then this is really interesting. This shows the Republic of China. You notice what's different with the Russian notes, the Russian currency. They had pictures of V.I. Lenin, but China's propaganda machine, they actually crank out notes that show smiley happy peoples. So yes, we love communism, we love oppression. But in reality they do not. It's just propaganda. And their currency is yuan, and they're just shows you here about what their currency is with their value compared to ours. You'll notice it's very, very low. It takes a lot of these to buy 1 loaf of bread in so many words. That's how these countries get you. They de-evaluate their currency so low that you cannot buy basic staples like bread, milk, eggs, medicine. So where this type of government gets you is you have to go to oppression, slave labor camps, and you have to go ahead and work from sun up to sundown in horrid conditions. Not just old men and old ladies, my friend, but children as young as 5, 6 years old working these slave labor camps. And if they don't work, they don't eat. So it shows more of their currency and about how low, how de-evaluated it is. More happy people going to work. This one here kind of looks like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs almost. Like, hi-ho, off to work we go, we're very happy peoples. But in reality, if you could actually be there, far from it. More currency is shown mainly about their military and their industry, showcasing that. More of their currency about how low valuable it is compared to our money. And this shows the Republic of Vietnam. Shows Ho Chi Minh, their first dictator, and shows you his amount. Oh goodness, look, 10,000 of dong money, but in reality, that 10,000 dong, surprise, is only worth 43 cents to our money. So it just shows you about how these countries, and I also broke down World War II for you too as well. With Hitler's Europe was no different than Mao Zedong's China and V.I. Lenin's Russia. Hitler also de-evaluated his Deutschmarks to have, once again, control of the people. More German currency. There's 100 Reichsmark in World War II, only worth $10. And some more. It mainly just shows German chancellors, German enlighteners. And they also show, the only difference kind of interesting. In China, you see smiley happy people, but with Adolf Hitler, his country was totalitarian, so these people here have more like a look like I'm ready to fight, ready to go and wipe out everything in my path. So they had more German currency in World War II had more stoic faces and less happy faces. More Deutschmarks. More World War II currency. You'll just notice how low the evaluation is from the 50 pfennigs, which is worth to 5 cents with us, 10 pfennigs, 1 cent, 5 pfennigs, less than a cent, 2 pfennigs, less than 1 cent of our money. So it would take a whole wheelbarrow of these coins to buy one loaf of bread, once again, just like in China and Russia during their zenith. So you would have to go to slave labor camps or work in the dictator's military to be able to get the crust of bread and coveted glass of milk if you so desired. And I have the rubles at World War II for the Russian people. You notice that the currency is very, very low again. No smiley, happy faces here. They mainly showcased the People's Liberation Army's military. So more soldiers, more soldiers. Very, very low valuation compared to our U.S. dollar. And more soldiers. That shows an airman, World War II airman. And then, of course, shows their first dictator, V.I. Lenin. And this shows the World War II French pact. This is the Vichy. Here the Vichy were they answered to Hitler. They were a controlled after the Nazis conquered the French people in 1940, spring of 1940. Then they of course had their own satellite government that was controlled by the Vichy. They answered to Hitler, and they of course devaluated their currency so they could have once again control of her people. And this shows Imperial Japan. Shows their Japanese currency, their yen, about how much 10 yen was worth, $1. 5 yen was worth $5 pesos, 1070 US dollar. Also called Mickey Mouse. When Japan ruled their territory they controlled in World War II, their currency was actual notes, seizure control notes in their occupied countries. And you can see it was also called the Mickey Mouse peso because it took roughly $35 just to buy one egg. And once again, other countries have socialist ideas. Europe and India is also on the rise of socialist control, and you can kind of see here about how their money is very, very devaluated. 1 rupee is 1 cent, 2 rupee is 2 cents. So this is devaluated by 100% less than what ours are, what our money is. And some coins that show these were replicated coins from the 12 Caesars of the ancient Roman Empire before Rome finally fell with crazy ideology from where they were destroyed from within. That's why I showcase the 12 Caesars and the duplicated Roman emperors of Rome's history, which would lead to the end of the Holy Roman Empire. End of the Roman Empire and the start of the Holy Roman Empire. So I have showcased the currency during the time when Judea was, when the Roman Empire started waning and eventually would be seeing her sunset. Then the Holy Roman Empire would then start, where the reign and influence of the westernized Roman Church would then go ahead and rule most of the monarchy of Europe. So why am I showcasing this for you? Well, it's quite simple. What's going on is this year will be kind of interesting. If our country in the foreseeable future does become a socialist country, then we shall be like Russia, China, North Korea, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, India, and the rest of Europe. What's kind of interesting is these peoples, they have no freedoms. They own no property, no land, mainly nobility, mainly the dictators and his well-connected few. They own all and have say all. And it's kind of interesting how we have not really learned from this. I'm just passing this information along to whomever is out there. I hope this will kind of inspire you to kind of pass the word on about, hey, having a socialist where the government controls all its people, all of its assets, and devaluate the currency. It's not a very good idea. Once again, I'm not going to talk about how many innocent folks that this can possibly kill, but I do have this right here to pass along. Please go to also to my YouTube Space Jam 2 Glasnost Edition Part 1, Space Jam 2 Glasnost Edition Part 2. And but what Glasnost is the reconstruction, if you will, of the Soviet Union during the 1980s, and how this. Just keep in mind, the CCP of Russia, they ruled their people under fear and tyranny for over 70 years, and then finally in the 1980s, it just collapsed on them. So, if America does decide to become like China and Russia, I have bad news for you, my friend. It doesn't work. Never has, never will. If you don't believe me, just please. I know they don't teach this in school and college much, but you can still use Wikipedia. Go ahead and research the truth and find out for yourself. I hope you enjoy the video, and please, give me your thumb up if you like.